Online shoppers today are more likely than ever to abandon their shopping carts. What this means is that a person who has gone to your store, found what they wanted to buy, put that item in their shopping cart, and has engaged in the transaction process is still 70% likely to abandon their shopping cart at some point during the process. There are a number of reasons for this, but one of the number one reasons is slow load times during the checkout process. So roughly 1 out of 5 shoppers will abandon their cart specifically because the transaction process was too slow. This translates to approximately $3 billion a year in lost revenue just in US e-commerce alone. So this number is very significant and it's something that site owners should be aware of. It's also important to know the long-term impact of slow checkout on your visitors, on your shoppers. For people who go to your site and they enter in their credit card information and then they hit the submit button, and when that page hangs, approximately 44% of those shoppers will experience anxiety about the fact that they're not sure if their credit card security has been compromised. They're not sure if they're going to be billed for a transaction, but they're not actually receive what they ordered. It introduces a lot of uncertainty into the shoppers, into the way the shopper thinks. The other key thing to remember is that this affects their long-term experience of your site. Roughly half of shoppers won't return to a site where they felt that the checkout process took too long. That last stage of the process is very, very influential on how they perceive your brand. We had a customer who wanted to experiment. They were very brave and they wanted to experiment with the impact of slowing down pages in the checkout process on their site because they wanted to see, well, what impact does this have? And so what we did was we took their traffic and split it into 3 groups and served each group a different experience in terms of the load time for the various transaction pages. And what we found was that the baseline abandonment rate was 67%, which is commensurate with the roughly 70% that we're accustomed to seeing in terms of shopping cart abandonment. But when we slowed pages down by just 2 seconds, 2 seconds for each page in the process, we saw abandonment rates climb up to 87%. So that's a 20% jump from our baseline finding. In recent years, online retailers have begun to focus on their landing pages, their homepage, product pages as places where they need to focus on acceleration. It's very, very easy to forget that the transaction, the ultimate checkout, is just as important and possibly even more important in terms of not just having engaged browsers, but actually engaged shoppers, people who complete the process.